Again, thank y'all for tuning in. Before I get started, I would like you guys to subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. Man, I want to talk about Mauricio Sulaiman and how basically maybe like a year or so ago, I warned you guys based on what I seen. You know, sometimes, man, if it acts like a duck, talks like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. I've been telling y'all, Mauricio Sulaiman is a racist individual. It's all in his actions. Quit taking people's words. If a person is a certain way, they're going to act that way. I mean, words does not mean more than action. Based on his action, he shows you that he's for the Hispanic community and he's for non-black individuals. Okay, so what are some of the things that actually happen? So when you look, right, let's go to the girl. Let's start off with the girl, Alejandra Jimenez. When she won the belt against super middleweight Franchon Crew Dezern, what did he say when they said that she was basically on drugs, that she tested positive? What did he come out and say? Oh, it's very irresponsible. Oh, I back her. I stand behind her, right? And what happened? She tests positive. Now let's go to Tyson Fury. There's all type of allegations, speculations that this man Glovegate was, he had something going on with his gloves, right? And what he come out and say? Oh, I was in the room. I seen them get their hands wrapped when they already proved that this man was never there. Let's talk about Canelo. Canelo, basically test positive for clenbuterol. Oh, what happened? What'd he say? Oh, well, we just need to raise the levels up. I mean, instead of really just punishing him, I think they gave him a 6-month punishment or ban from fighting, but he still ended up getting franchise belt. He still ended up avoiding fighters like Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade or anybody that remotely comes close to beating him. He basically made a way. I seen him on a show called Barbershop Conversation, and basically he was saying that Canelo earned his right to be able to fight who he wanted to fight. I mean, when wasn't he ever able to fight who he wanted to fight? He's always been able to fight who he wanted to fight. And he always got WBC recognition. And these guys has been sucking up to Canelo for as long as I can remember. And the WBC is a big responsibility for why the boxing world is dying, because he allowed people like Canelo to fight all the fighters that they wanted to fight, and Canelo fought a bunch of nobodies. And if you look at Triple G is not that good. He lost to Derevyanchenko and he lost to Danny Jacobs. But instead, on the strength that they wanted to see a trilogy, they gifted him a decision. They gifted him a decision on the fact that they wanted to see Triple G versus Canelo. Initially, they gifted him a decision versus Danny Jacobs. But then, now that they want to see a trilogy, they gifted him, Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, a decision versus Derevyanchenko, and Derevyanchenko won that fight very easy. Okay, so we're just talking about, just Canelo, right? Him, all the people that he fought. Triple G wasn't all that, but now let's talk about after those fights. He didn't really fight nobody. I mean, he fought Danny Jacobs, who was very timid. We knew he wasn't going to win on the decision. Then I seen Canelo go on hot boxing, and just talk about a whole bunch of nothing, which shows that he's ducking. And you got people like Mauricio Sulaiman saying, oh, well, I approve of this fight. Oh, I think it'd be a good fight. You take it from David Benavidez, right? And then you give it to Canelo just because you want to be in good standing with Canelo. A person that people is stopped watching. They not watching him like that no more because he's not fighting the best fighters. But Mauricio Sulaiman, I've been trying to tell people that this guy acts like a racist, talks like a racist, and to me, that makes him a racist. And I don't even like throwing that word out like that. But for the sake of people understanding where this man stands, it's going to be against it's going to be against black fighters. He's going to stand against black fighters. And then when he was on Barbershop Conversation, he talks about how he was on the side of a variety of black fighters. So how is he racist? He's not racist and stuff. Look, man, there were also people in the war going to war with each other, and they were racist. So I don't want to hear about the fact that who you been with or what black friend that you have. He is a racist. And I hate to say that because, but I have to, because that means that whatever Canelo is going to do or certain fighters is going to do, he's going to back it 100%. I don't see Deontay Wilder getting the same treatment, and he had the WBC reigning longer than championship belt, longer than anybody outside of Muhammad Ali. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he had more title defenses against most people. But did he ever back Deontay Wilder the way that he was backing Tyson Fury? No, he wasn't. Did he grant Teofimo a franchise belt so he can avoid Devin Haney? Yes. Is he trying to set Devin Haney up right now so he can lose possibly to Javier Fortuna, which I doubt he lose against him? But is he not giving him 2 mandatories? And then is he not saying that that Teofimo is the undisputed champion? Is he not changing the rules against certain fighters? Is he not doing that? He is. You know why? Because he's a racist. I don't care what nobody say. That's what he is. And y'all need to call a spade a spade. Y'all need to call a spade a spade. Mauricio Sulaiman has no integrity for the sport of boxing. He just all about money and trying to find and create ways to basically to basically make more money off of the belts. The man continued to make and create belts. He told us and continued to lie, telling us the franchise belt is going to make a lot of sense in the future, which we haven't seen it yet, because he said that a while ago. I see that it's the most horrifying thing to the sport of boxing that I've seen since I've been watching it, because he keep letting Canelo not fight David Benavidez. He keep letting Canelo not fight Art Beterbiev or Demetrius Bivol or Jamal Charlo or Demetrius Andrade. And they keep approving fights that does not make sense in the sport of boxing. He said that in the WBC, he wants to basically crown Canelo Alvarez the WBC title because he wants to make sure that when they're trying to make good fights, that other fighters does not get in the way. But how about when and he basically end up creating a mandatory, right, for Canelo Alvarez, which I didn't think that that basically they have mandatories. I didn't think that him being a franchise champion that he had mandatories, but instead they gave him a mandatory. But what does that mean? That means that it's okay for Canelo to have a mandatory, fight a mandatory, and to fight a fighter when the fighter is not a Jamal Charlo. When it's not a Jamal Charlo, it's okay to fight your mandatory. Oh, Canelo, I need to fight my mandatory. It's okay to fight your mandatory when he's not dangerous like Jamal Charlo. It's okay. He can avoid all the rest of the fights, You know what I'm saying? Because we want to just continue to see him and Triple G. Because y'all don't want to see Canelo lose to another black fighter, which is sad, because the sport of boxing, it should be basically the best fighting the best. Just like the Virgil Ortiz. I have no issue with Virgil Ortiz. I just want to see the good fights. I don't care if he win, lose, draw. I mean, yes, I might have a fighter that I favorite more in the sense of the style, that I like them. But if the other fighter wins, I'm going to congratulate that fighter because I'm not emotionally attached to no fighter. And I'm not racially driven for no fighter. But you got a lot of these sanctioning bodies who are. You got a lot of these individuals like Mauricio Sulaiman, who's basically not being fair. You feel what I'm saying? And understands that and basically approve a fight like you didn't. I'm not calling that man Yurdrum. That man named You Didn't. You did not let that man fight. You did not let Canelo fight that man. Because that was a disgrace to the sport of boxing. And a very good explanation as to why the sport is dying right now. You feel what I'm saying? So the actions of Mauricio Sulaiman shows you that this man is biased. He's racially motivated. He does not treat fighters the same or similar. You know what I'm saying? All the franchise belts that he have created and given away are non-black fighters. And so the proof is in the pudding. So I'm not making this racially motivated. I'm not race baiting. I'm not doing none of this. I'm just simply showing and telling y'all so we can correct these type of behaviors, especially when it comes to the committees, the belt councils, all that stuff. We need to correct that mess, because in return, what we're getting is the non-best fights. We're getting non-50-50 fights. We're getting fights that we know is going to we know what's going to be the outcome. You know what I'm saying? All we want is 50-50 fights. And even for those who actually have a favorite fighter, y'all can agree with that. But I know some of the fans are just as worse because they are emotionally tied to a fighter. They don't want to see a fighter lose to the other race. So they don't want to make the fights. They rather say who will win instead of finding out who will win. And I believe that some of the council members, like Mauricio Sulaiman, is the same way. But that's all I got for now, man. It's your man, Ken the Guru, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm out.